Welcome back. Going into the fourth hour here of week 35. Adam, tell us our deaths.
So, I mean, we'll see, right? So Berg staggers out of the room in an effort to save himself. The sandstorm continues to howl behind him. Azrael, can you make a death save, please? Let's get a death save check after this one. So Azrael, go ahead and make yours, and we'll see. It's one failed for Jubilant Black Gale, right? Or do you have two failed?
I have two.
All right, two failed. Okay,
Yeah.
and one success for Azrael.
One success.
The creature has no reason to attack the corpses, so it's just kind of like sitting as the storm swirls around it. Jubilant Black Gale, can we get a save from you? Okay,
Success.
so 2-1. Yep. All right, Berg, where are you headed? Are you gonna continue like staggering for the exit? Berg, what do you think? just long.
You're muted.
Long
You're muted.
stare.
I said, yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Okay, we couldn't see you were covering your face. Where are you gonna go? You gonna continue like running for the door?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and move your token. Azrael, can we get a death save from you?
Fail.
Okay. All right.
What do you want?
Jubilant Black Gale.
Fail.
That's it. So
Three.
you're dead, right?
Yeah.
All right. Jubilant Black Gale dies in the cave. Berg.
I think Bird just goes over here to this like cubby.
Just like hides. Okay.
Well, he's hiding, but he's also just fucking exhausted as shit.
Yeah, totally.
So he's no good to anyone.
Breathing hard. Yeah, totally. All right, Azrael.
Another fail.
Okay. Berg, you want to stay there, wait it out?
Berg is basically resting. It's
Okay. All right. Azrael.
about to. I don't know.
What are you at now, Azrael? 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
Okay. Why don't you just make your next one?
And I'm dead.
All right. So Jubilant Black Gale and Azrael both fall to the creature's rage. And given time, I don't know how long do you wait there, Berg?
Hell of a question.
It gets quiet after a little while, right? You wait long enough, and then suddenly there's just like silence.
I think Berg would just rest there. Like, given obviously he's sitting there for a while, just like trying to rack his brain with everything. Maybe he passes out.
Yeah. So you want to just like you could take a long rest if you want to. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you take a long rest, hidden in the little like corner of the room. You recover all your hit points. You recover 1 level of exhaustion. Yeah. You wake up, in a cold sweat, like the memory of the battle. Your skin like just aching, like you're back at full hit points, but like part of your face has like burned tissue on it. It's gonna take some time for Berg to really heal from this. You look like you just got flamethrowered, and yeah, you like start and like kind of get to your feet and grab your hammer, and then you realize you're not in immediate danger.
Yeah. I think Berg just like wakes up, remembers that, like what happened, and then just slumps back down again and just like stares and contemplates what he's doing. He's racking his brain. Does he go and check, or just try to leave? Azrael had the orb on him, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. You could go back and fight it now.
I don't think you can 1v1 this thing.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna be super
hard.
real. I'm gonna be super real with
Yeah.
you. I don't think you can 1v1. I believe in you, but I think it would tear your shit apart.
Yeah. Is Berg aware? What was the other entrance to this cave?
The other way out?
Yeah.
Did Berg come in this way? Did you come in?
That's what I'm trying to remember. It just happened so long ago.
Were you
I can't
there in the
remember.
Kenku? Yeah, you were there in the old Kenku's like thing, right? When Gideon touched the shard, the broken piece of sword. Yeah. So you have the talent. Yeah, it's way the fuck over here. It's like through the big room with the water, and then you take the boat or you swim south past where the water weird was that you paid, and then further south, then west, and then it's a week's march. I don't know if you have the rations for it because you can't scavenge. Yeah. It's a week's march back out into the mountains.
Yeah. Now he just get the shortest is to the skull guys again, right?
This was the room the skulls were in, the one where you were. Yeah.
Oh, well then Berg's just gonna go for the exit, which is this way, right?
Yeah, south from here.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll stealth just to try to see.
Okay.
Because he's by himself. He figured he might try to be stealthy.
Yep. Nice, not bad.
Yeah, and then Berg just follows the way out.
All right, so when you get into this last cavern, Berg, there's that like caved in tunnel. Remember on the side. Just one last thing as you walk by, and you turn to look at that. And here I'm just gonna pull Jubilant into the room so you can see, so the audience can see what you see, Berg. Actually, I guess I can just make the Berg token available to JP. So yeah, you see that cave in kind of right by the edge of the stairs before you leave. It's the last thing you see as you're getting ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Are you gonna just go right past it?
I mean, Berg's gonna go look like right here.
Okay. Yes, Dan. I will also. I'll attach you.
Can I see too?
Hang on.
As much as I like seeing the black screen.
Yeah, I just got to go to Berg's character sheet here. So, Berg now kind of cumulatively belongs to.
We are all Berg.
We are Berg. All right, there. Everybody should be able to see through Berg now. Okay, good. All right. So, So Berg, you you see this pile of stones. What do you want to do?
Why do you got to tempt me with this shit?
I'm just saying it's there, man. That's all I'm saying.
Is there any way to peer through? Is it like completely, or can you like,
no,
can
like
Berg
the
like
ceiling
move
collapsed
a rock and like see?
The ceiling collapsed and piled a bunch of rock down on here.
So, I mean, there's no way through other than just pulling away all the rocks.
Yeah, you could pull all the rock out of the way. Or you could leave. You could just leave right now.
I think Berg's just leaving.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You're fine.
He like looks at it. If we wanted to see like what actually happens, Berg like looks at it for a second and is just like,
yeah, like you can peer through the rocks. That's why I'm showing you the tunnel. You can peer through the rocks.
That's why I was asking. You were like, nope, there's lots of rocks.
Like, there's lots of rocks. You can see a tunnel beyond with like dark stains on the floor. We've seen this already. Like as when you first came in, you can see this tunnel that leads somewhere in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Berg wouldn't do that.
Okay.
He's gonna leave.
All right, Berg.
There's been enough death already.
You climb the stairs, and it takes some time. You know, you're not as exhausted as you once were, but your body is still, you know, racked with pain. And eventually, you emerge from the hidden stairwell, and you're in the house, this little house, kind of like crumbled. The sunlight comes down, ruins your dark vision, but you can see the trees above, and suddenly, you know, there's this. You take a deep breath of fresh forest air as you emerge, and what are you gonna do? You're in this little house right now.
It's the house that we first came in, like before we fought
the little ruined house that was hiding the stairs. Yeah.
I think Berg's going to look around the surrounding area, just like to survey real quick, just to see if there's anything around. He's still stealthing, you know what I mean? Because he's by himself.
Okay. Give me a second. Okay, cool. So you come to the edge of the house, you know, like peering around. You peer outside. And I think you it's the smell that you notice kind of at the same time as you lay eyes on them. You see a group of 3 people standing around a campfire. The fire is out because it's like daytime. One of them is quite tall, broad of shoulder, clad in heavy plate armor. a two-handed sword, leans up against a stump nearby. Next to him, picking the last bits of chicken off of a bone, you see a woman with a drape across her armored shoulders. The two of them are talking quietly, and then next to them, there is an air genasi with long, flowing robes, and the three of them are talking. Now, I don't think you've seen them before.
I know nothing about them. Yeah, I know that we had. I don't know how detailed Dan was in description. I don't think he was.
These are indeed the bounty hunters that followed.
I'm just trying to get it right that Berg he wouldn't recognize them.
So you just see these three armed dudes.
Actually, you did see them on the rooftop when they were taunting us at the burning building.
They're shadows.
Barely.
They're shadows.
Barely,
yeah. I'll leave it up to you if you think Berg would recognize their silhouettes or not. But you spot them and they don't hear you.
Yeah, I think Berg stays stealthy and monitors them.
Okay. So the woman, she's saying to the man in a low voice, she's like, she swallows the piece of chicken she has in her mouth, and she's like, "So what are we doing? We're going to just wait here?" And the big guy's like, "Yes, be patient." And she's like, "I don't want to be patient. I want to kill some fools." And he says, "Calm down. We let the dungeon do the work. Give them a day or so. Worst case scenario, they all die in there. We go down, we collect the half-orc, and we take the bounty for the body." She's like, "Yes, but I wanted to fight them so badly." And the girl, the air genasi, she's like, "Both of you, be quiet." And then they like get quiet, and she's gonna make a perception check.
Fuck.
So let's see. So she's like, "Shut up, you two. Like, this is supposed to be an ambush, morons." So let's roll her perception. You rolled a 19, so you rolled pretty good. All right. So you just hear nothing. You just hear some birds whistling
Berg
in the
stealths away.
Yeah.
After hearing that he was gonna fight, you know what I mean? Like that they're like ready to just fucking kill him. He stealths away and heads back towards grasping. What's the name of the whole town? I can't remember.
The monastery.
Yeah, the monastery. How far is that?
Baya.
Baya, that's what it was. That's what I wanted to say. I just wasn't sure. Yeah, he stealths away, and as soon as he gets, reasonable distance away and thinks that they can't track or see him or whatever, he might even take like some weird back routes and like double back on his path a little bit and make it seem like it goes somewhere else. If this is all possible, of course,
Yeah, let's see if you want to like mess up your, like, you've got a head start on them before they realize that, like, you're not in there anymore. You can try to like make your path. I mean, I think you've got the fictional position from your background as like an outlander to do this. So yeah, let's have you roll survival to try to like cover your tracks.
Okay.
Okay, so you're being stealthy, but you're not that good at this particular thing. You're the one doing the hunting, not the other way around. So you've got a day or two before they get bored and come looking for you. So are you traveling? You're traveling stealthily, or do you want to run for it?
I think Bird's probably gonna run for it.
So it's more about speed.
Stealth.
Then.
Well, no, that's why I was describing stealth until he gets out of like where they can hear him earshot, and then he just fucking goes.
Okay. All right.
Full sprint.
Cool. All right. So we see Berg slip away.
The fastest pace he can move without killing himself.
So you slip away into the woods. So I think you get a day's head start before they go into the dungeon. They spend probably a day looking for you in the dungeon. I wonder if they would fight that thing. No, they'd probably see the bodies and be like, "Okay, this is not the body we want." Then they'd leave. They'd realize you slipped away. Yeah, they wouldn't necessarily have the orb if they don't stay and fight. I'm gonna roll. I think it's 50-50 because killing a dragon's a pretty cool thing for them to do. Okay, you get away. They stay to fight. And whether they whether they win or lose against the dragon, we'll never know, at least for now. But yeah, they go in and they're like, "Ooh, a dragon. Yeah, we like glory." And they stay to fight the dragon. Maybe one of them dies or something, but we won't know that until we see them on screen again.
Yeah, maybe.
Berg, you take off. You leave into the woods and you make your way for the monastery. And you you return to Bahia. So I don't know what we want to do here. Do we want to do like, me and Berg work out like the return of Berg and find out what Berg's plans are? Do we want to take the next like half hour and talk about like character creation for your new characters? Do you guys know what you want to play? What do you
I'm
think?
fine with whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't know if me and Dan know what we want to play, and there has to be some sort of party synergy. So we probably need to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that, right? We could talk about that stuff now. We could take a step back from the narrative, or if you know what you're going to do when you get to town, Berg, you and I can play it out.
I know what I want to play.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to have that conversation in front of chat.
Yeah,
Okay.
chat will.
All right.
Part.
Keep in mind too that this is an opportunity to play something different, because when Anne does join, you'll be changing the sort of mechanical space that opens up for her. So yeah. And plus it's totally fine to take some time, take a week to think about it. Chat, if you have opinions on what they should play, the best place that you can share those opinions is going to be the Q&A thread after the fact, because they're not listening right now. So just save it, just zip it up a little bow. Put it in the community thread later. All right, so Berg, you take the time to return to town, and what is that like for you? Like you're a wanted man, you're alone. Your friends have died. You got the Incredible Hulk thing going on. So what are you gonna do? What is this like? Do you just return back to the monastery?
What time of day does he get there?
Here's my question.
It's kind of important.
So you can go back. You can go back to Bahia. You could also go to Mongvoit. You could go to.
Here's the question.
You go to one of the towns in the Shulin Valley.
Where was our money?
Your money is in Bahia.
In the house.
Yeah. Your good friend Grasping Hands has it.
Oh, he straight up has our money. Doesn't he?
Is that where we see you? Do we see you like outside of his house, looking road weary and dirty?
Like we didn't store it in our house, did we?
No,
he has it in the bank.
He physically has it in his vault. He made a deal with Azrael to look after your money, and now he's doing that. Well, Azrael's money, really.
Yeah, he wouldn't give the money to Berg.
No.
There's no chance in hell he'd give the money to Berg.
Of course not. No. He has leverage and legal precedent to be like, sorry, man, this is Azrael's money. Depending on depending on how much you push him or whatever, he might use it to get you to work for him. But whatever, you have these thoughts perhaps as you are returning to town.
Okay. I think Berg would go back to get at the house to get whose fucking shield was it again?
Ramus.
How dare you?
Listen, man, we've had so many fucking characters.
No, there is no excuse.
Ramus Quill. I remember him. Yeah, I think Berg would go back to the house, trying to be stealthy. What time of day is it? Is it daytime or nighttime? Or?
I mean, what do you envision? You can return. You can set this.
I would envision that Berg would post up outside if he gets there during the daytime. He would post up he would post up until it's dark, or at least dusk, where it's getting darker, and then try to sneak into the house and grab.
I mean, I think in these moments, the first thing that we have to do, I think that it's become universally understood that when you return to town, standing outside the gates of town, casually kicking mud off of his traveling boots, you see a man dressed as a monk, wearing a wide-brimmed hat to keep the sun off of his face and tattooed neck.
Uh-huh.
The smell of strange tobacco hangs around him in the air.
God damn it.
As he looks up to see you approaching. And he looks at you as you approach, and he looks down at his boots, and he says, "Try as I might, I just cannot get them clean." Like kicks a couple of times. I think I need new boots.
I wondered when I'd see you again.
He nods, shakes his head, and he says, "I'm sorry. I really am. I am bad omen. I know this. And he's smiling the whole time he says it.
You. Death follows you wherever you go.
He laughs, shakes his head. No, 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 not death. Something worse, maybe. Suffering, tragedy, calamity, pain, infinite wellsprings of pain. I think you are beginning to understand this, Berg. And he takes a couple of steps towards you.
I think as he does it, Berg just stares at him, like, just fucking tunnel vision, weak, weary, like rested, but still like a fucking just shell shock kind of.
Yeah, and he steps close enough to you, and he like reaches out and like touches, unless you like flinch or whatever. I assume because you're numb, you kind of just like let him. But
Yeah.
he like touches the like still healing like burns, and they'll leave a scar. You will have like a burned side of you forever. And he touches it, and you feel the pain, and maybe your body like wants you to wince, but you don't. And then kind of traces like a scar on your neck and the scar on your chest, and he shakes his head and he says, "But you, Berg, you are a survivor. It is your pain that makes you strong, is it not?"
I don't know.
He shakes his head and he says, "What do you mean you do not know? Think of all of the suffering you have felt. First, at your birth, for simply being half orc at all. And then, a slave. Think of their whips and scourges, Berg."
You can see like Berg's eye twitch a little bit as he says this.
And he puts his hands, so he says, "Did they break you? No. They made you what you are. Strong. Think of your friends who died at your feet. Think of that pain. But you lived. You beat death again and again. And here you are." And he just like gestures like, "Still alive. And stronger, I think. Less afraid. Your weakness is being cut from you one piece at a time."
I have nothing.
And he smiles as if you've just said something deeply profound. And he says, "Now you can be reborn." And he's looking at you, and the smile on his face is no longer this like, ha ha ha, suffering, it's happening to you. It's this like, you can see there's like true joy on his face. And he says, "Only when we have nothing, Berg, are we free to gain everything. I was once where you were. Rock bottom, the deep darkness in the shadow of the tower." And he looks at you, and he says, "There is a place for us in this world, Berg. Those of us who can survive. Those who laugh in the face of death. Only if you're willing to give up all." And he smiles, and he kind of tips his head, and he says, "I know you have had a very long, well, a very long life." And he reaches into his tunic, and he pulls out a deck of tarot cards, and smiling, he fans them and offers them to you, as if like to take one.
I think Berg just does, yeah, like he doesn't fucking care. He's just like, whatever. He just grabs one.
Yeah, so you reach out and you slide a card from the deck, and you look at it, and of course it's the tower, right? It's a little sea of flame around the base, skeletons kind of burning in the fire, this tower being struck by lightning, and all the rubble falling. And he says to you, "Think on it. If you are ready to embrace a destiny outside of fate, burn that card. I will know, and I will come for you." And he puts a hand on your unburned shoulder, and he says, "I think there are great things ahead for you, Berg." And he smiles and looks over his shoulder back at the road, and he says, "But I must go. Perhaps we will be seeing each other again."
As he turns and leaves, I guess Berg's looking at the card and looking at him. He's just like,
Did you always know?
And he stops. And he turns and he shakes his head. "No. Certainty is impossible. There were signs. There have been for many years. I have been watching you very carefully, Berg."
Berg waits, stares at the card, maybe as he continues to walk away.
Mhm.
And Berg, what kind of fire shit would he have on him?
I mean, the town has little like signal fires next to the doors, right?
To the
They're just
door,
like-
yeah. Like as the guy gets further away, Berg just walks up to one of them and just goes,
You just drop it in before he can walk away.
throws it right in.
Yeah. So he stops like mid step, and he turns around smiling, and he says, and like claps his hands. He says, "Good, very good, yes." And he walks up to you, and he kind of like puts his arm out for you to like take his arm, and he says, let's get away from this place. I have something I want to show you."
Yeah, Berg just is all right.
Okay. So
Berg is
you
like just like kind of going through the motions. Like he's kind of not even really there. Like
yeah, and so you take his arm, and the two of you, he turns to walk you towards. There are some trees by the side of the road, and one of them is casting a shadow over the path. And the two of you walk as though to walk through the shadow of the tree, but you walk into its shadow and vanish.
fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that there's more.
I don't think there's. Yeah, that's
There's
a
more
good
time
ending.
for episode, but I don't know what else to do there. I need some. We need some time to like work out the new characters and stuff. So yeah, what do you guys want to do? That's that. I wasn't sure if you were gonna do more stuff, but that's yeah. I mean, we can't really carry on from there. Not yet, anyway.
No, I thought about what Berg might do, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
We talk about it in the post show, but
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about. I guess my question here's the thing that I do want to know. Do you want to keep playing a variation of Berg? Do we want to? Because I can think of a couple of ways to go forward from here, and I guess this will inform Dan and JP making their character. Do you want to keep playing Berg, or do you want to play another character? You can always later, if you're like, oh, my character died, let's bring Berg back into the story. We can find a way to do that. Or you can play Berg, and we could do something like we did at the end of the last arc and be like, cool, 12 years later, right? We could cut to like an older Berg who works for the tower. And yeah, we could jump ahead. We could do a little time change.
I'm okay with a time change. But
I think a time change would be cool. Yeah. It'd be one, it would allow Berg to come back, like fucking hell of a cliffhanger right there. Just like yeah, but I'd be okay doing another character and then still playing Berg as, as you deem like, if it becomes narratively important.
The thing is narratively following Berg means that in some way or another we carry on with the current kind of like storyline. The setting will remain the same, and all the stuff that's happening in the setting will still be true whenever we come back. If we carry on with Berg, it's literally just going to be like, yeah, 20 years later, old man Berg has served as the tower's emissary for however long, doing cool shit and training with Hassan, that kind of stuff. And then the new characters will introduce to Berg, and so we'll stick with Berg. If you all make new characters, we could explore a different part of the world for a little while, and maybe like that can be part of Anne's arc. We can introduce the new place, and then introduce Anne to that.
If they're cool with doing a time skip, I'm fine playing future Berg and then going from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think I'm going to put it to them.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we'll find out. We'll figure out how much time there is in the interim, and then jump forward to this new time. Do you guys want to do what are you thinking in terms of the setting? Do you want to go like back and find out what's going on in the Court of Swords? Do you want to go? Should we go to the Court of Wands because we've had some hints about that? I'm pretty flexible for where we set it. Is there a part of the setting that you're interested in seeing?
I think Max would be the one to dictate that since he's the living character at the moment. It would be wherever he wants to go, wherever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in what y'all as players are interested in, right? So the Court of just to kind of like review, like the Court of right now, and especially if we time skip, the Court of Swords is in the beginnings of a war against a necromancer lord and his army of the undead. If we jump ahead a dozen years, that war will be in full effect. So a story set in the Court of Swords will be set against the backdrop of a war between the Court of Swords and the army of the dead. If we go to the Court of Coins, we could see like a big city. We could have a game set in pretty much any kind of fantasy setting that you like, right? So we could see some different terrain. We could see some different spaces because the Court of Coins is the biggest one. A lot of stuff going on there. We could go to the Court of Cups, which is like an archipelago out in the Eastern Ocean. So we could do like kind of a boat game for a little while. So you could all be crew of a ship, maybe.
That'd be cool.
Or we could go west to the Court of Wands, which contains the City of Brass, which is the biggest city in the whole world. And this would be more like a Arabian Nights kind of, like flying carpets and scimitars, sandals and sorcery kind of game set in the desert of the Court of Wands. Probably much higher in terms of magic because that's where magic originated in the Court of Wands. So
Right.
You can be any of the character options will still be open no matter what place we choose to set the game in. But there's all kinds of space to play the game for the next season. What do you think? Does anybody have anything jumping out that they feel particularly excited about?
I mean, they all sound cool to me. I'm not pulled to one. I've played in most of those settings before, so it's really what Dan and Max want to do here. And we don't necessarily have to decide that now. We can honestly.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like that would be.
We can talk about it now, but I'm interested just in kind of what you're thinking.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we go the undead stuff, that's kind of already been explored a little bit on the show.
Yeah. That was kind of my thing. Is like, as interesting as it is, we've already kind of done a lot of that. That's what we started in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The island stuff, boats would be kind of interesting, but
pirates, motherfucker.
Then the thing, you got to keep track of a lot of that stuff. So I don't know. That also kind of forces a little bit of like character background. Somewhat.
But it doesn't have to be like pirates necessarily.
Pirates,
it's just that there's mostly water, but also that like there are islands, right? There's lots of islands. Yeah. It's more a like Pacific Islands vibe. So like Polynesia, like Hawaii, that kind of thing. So water would be an important part of the game, but it wouldn't necessarily be like, yar, you're all a bunch of pirates on a boat doing pirate shit. It would just be that like that's the setting.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could think about it for a day or two.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. There's certainly lots of options there for you.
Yeah. Let's do shout outs, and then we'll probably talk a little bit more in depth in the Patreon video and make an announcement sometime this week. Because I'm not. I feel like we have travel coming up next week, but I'm not too sure. So we'll have to figure all that out.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out. Sure.
But yeah, let's do shout outs, and then we'll go do the Patreon video and figure out scheduling and stuff like that. Max, we'll start with you.
Yeah, crazy ass episode. I'm Max or GassyMexican. Berg's living again. Fucking doesn't die. I'll talk more about reasoning and stuff like that behind why Berg did what he did and all that. But yeah, crazy episode. I'm a variety caster on Twitch, and I also do YouTube. Feel free to check it all out. Best way to know when I'm gonna go live is Twitter. I ain't got anything else to say. We're going to talk about it in the post show. It's the crazy shit that went down.
Okay. All right. Dan, some shout outs.
Hi, I'm DansGaming, /DansGaming on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, easy to find. That I lost another character today. Now I'm sad. But I'm excited for a new setting next week, and it's always fun to make a new character because then you get to think about all these things about them and create everything all over again, which I love to do. So I'm excited. Looking forward to next week.
Cool stuff. Last but not least, Adam, some shout outs.
Yeah. You can find me right here running both this show and Nebula Jazz on the weekends. So make sure that if you're not already following, do so. You can come check that out. And you can find me on my own over at twitch.tv/Adam Coble and on Twitter at skinnyghost. I'll probably start doing some Court of Swords GM prep stuff. So if you want to get into the GM side of the game, make sure you just keep an eye on my Twitter, and I'll announce when I'm going to do that. We'll hang out and talk about GMing D&D.
Cool. That's it. We'll see you guys. I think next week. I think we're good for next week. I'm not. For some reason, I think maybe June is just going to be the month of hell when it comes to scheduling. But we'll figure it out.
I'm my parents, but I should be able to still do the show like I have in the past.
Okay. All right. We'll figure out the full stuff, and it'll pop up on the schedule. Again, it's Monday. It's not Tuesday, so we have basically the full week.
It's Monday today.
I just remembered that it's on Monday. So we still got the good part of the week. So we'll announce when we're going to be doing that. Regardless, I think me and Dan will probably be doing Patreon videos for the new characters, at least in terms of the creation of them. So we'll figure that out as well. But that's it for the episode. We'll see you guys next time for, I guess, the start of season 3. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Start of season 3. Next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.